As usual, our team will give you an update about the new scheme, and right now the offline game will be one of the best lists ever present with a very good graphic, but less than 1GB, which is a very small size game in categories. I really hope you all to tap a like button and remember to like this video. Thanks! Top 10 new offline games for Android and iOS 2025. Small size game under 1GB. Dead Rails a Resident. As an offline game, I'm pretty sure you all will keep playing it for some reason. With a very small size game of about 178MB, you already have a great graphic game with an action-adventure base. It has a dark fantasy theme, but I don't know exactly what kind of monster we are facing. It's because the storyline is not pretty clear and only show up a few times. This thing should get more updates to attract the player from a different perspective rather than only focusing on the gameplay only. We can climb a wall, hit the enemy with our weapon of sword or shovel in a close range. I found a little glitch that allows the player to fly higher by pressing the jump button as well as the attack button continuously. With this action, we can fly unlimitedly. I really hope the developer will fix it and make the gameplay normal. The game's level difficulty is pretty hard though, so it's not for a newbie friendly. Need to recover the HP multiple times to keep surviving from the monster attack. Exist. Did you know this game is a really good game to play and available to play offline? Unfortunately, after we clear the stage, then we should purchase or watch along of ads to continue the stage. I think this is the main reason why the player who's not giving more attention anymore. The developer should try switching the position to become the player's perspective on how the player thinks about the satisfaction. Because it's not about the gameplay, but making it comfortable for the player is the main key. For example, making the ads shorter and also don't put any extra purchase to be able to move into the next stage. About the gameplay, I'm totally impressed and satisfied, especially about the combat mechanism, absolutely masterclass. We can make a different slashing technique through combining a different pattern. The enemies number is pretty massive, but we can slash them all with an area of effect range. At some point after I reach the third stage, suddenly the game has an issue, which is force close. Surely the game needs more updates after. So I highly suggest you to get away from adding a purchase until the games get a newest update. Wall of Insanity. This game is one of the most realistic offline games that has less than 1GB size. I'm pretty sure you'll be surprised with the game's graphic. We need to solve the hidden puzzle to open up the new path. Most of the door or gate will be locked, so we need to find the hint to find out the key. The main goal is we need to execute the operation that has a lot of mutants around the way, but we are not alone on doing this mission because some troops will help us in killing those mutants. But of course we can't depend on them because our partner will have less damage and can't shoot faster as we are. So we need to raise the concentration to lock and hit the target. The enemy will be hiding behind the object and we should be always ready for a sudden attack. Even though the game has a very good visual and advanced graphic, unfortunately the game doesn't support the new Android version. The developer should be updating the game now as a premium game is really worth it to play. Fan Life Simulator. This is what I'm looking for, a game that has a casual gameplay and relaxing ambience with an adorable music background. If you are a type of a person who love to enjoy the panorama, then you should go straight to play this game. So we'll play a simulator game where the player will have a very unique job as a photographer. There is a task that we should do to reach the goal and earn the reward, like we can take a photo of the animal or the lake and many more. It depends on the task you are receiving. I prefer to enjoy the game by driving the fan and see how beautiful the scenery is. The car's navigation is really realistic, even I can feel how heavy the vehicle is when we go across the uphill road. It's a pretty relaxing game because there is no enemy and we don't even need to craft any weapon, but surely there are some tools that we can craft by collecting a certain material. It's a free-to-play game with a huge open-world game that will let you to explore the area as you like. Remember to focus on the life indicator to make sure your character doesn't get exhausted by eating some food or drinking some water. Gangs Fighter Fight Island. This is the best offline game open world that I would like to share with everyone. Seriously, it's totally free to play games and even the developer don't push the player to watch the ads because we can easily get a weapon around us by picking it up on the street or killing the NPC. I love how realistic the game is, not about the graphic but the effects are absolutely magnificent. We can hit the tree and also hit the vehicle. The ragdoll effect looks pretty detailed. Well done, Dev. Anyway, I didn't find any quest icon. It seems the game is good to play as a sandbox gameplay where we are full of action to do anything you want in a freedom's experience. Once you are making a chaos, then the police will consistently come with a bigger number. I'm sure you can't handle them at once except you are driving a tank. When the city is in the chaos, then we can see how frightened the NPC around us is. They will run away suddenly. The police are not the only enemy we should face because the gangster will try to kill us as well. It's good for us to loot their weapons freely. The auto aim assist is pretty helpful to us to aim the target at a distance. Total Assault Zombie Massacre. Can you believe if this game only needs 280 MB to download the whole data? It's pretty insane how the developer made this kind of game. With a great visual and amazing movement of the zombie, it's really unreal. It has a semi-open world where we explore the area with different stages. So the main goal is we need to clear the area and eliminate all of the zombies. It's quite easy to do because we will not fight alone. Two of the allies will become our partner and they all will be pretty active in helping us in killing the zombies. We will have too many weapons that we can switch anytime, but we should learn to aim the target because the ammo is limited and we don't want to run out of ammo. The best strategy to win the game is we need to stay behind the other allies. This position will make you way safer and has a wider angle to lock the target. I love how aggressive the enemy is. Their movement is really fast and quick to approach us. Always keep moving your hero to safer a position to make a distance to the zombie. This is one of the best offline games on mobile 2025. Gunsim 3D FPS shooting guns. This game is really good. Seriously, it's one of the best new games on mobile with a very good graphic. It's totally playable offline. It's kind of a shooter game against the robotic. Some of the enemies will have a high durability with a slower movement, and some of them have a faster movement but less durability. So we should know which enemy we should prioritize first to lock. Remember to optimize your gun by upgrading the magazine, ammo, and any spare part that needs to improve your dealing power. I highly recommend you to adjust the sensitivity to make it easier on navigating the control. Honestly, the developer need to give more features of a different mode because it's quite monotone to see the entire stage. I'm Your Beast. Finally, we have an iOS game that's playable offline, but we are only able to play on the trial. Then we should get it on a premium to enjoy the whole content. It's not an open world, but as a stage base. With a great voiceover to represent the storyline, we can't switch the camera perspective. First person perspective is the only angle we can select. It's good to let the player have a wider vision to see the enemy much easier. Try to raise your phone's volume to hear the enemy step. At the beginning, we don't have any single weapon, but the bare hand is enough to eliminate the enemy. Once you are following the journey, then you will find the weapon easier by looting the equipment. The story will show up every time you have a dialogue or a conversation just before we get into the combat. Celestial Age. This game keeps getting an update. Right now, the developer are focusing on enhancing the graphic and the visual, and even add some plans that look way more optimized. Even the combat looks way smoother now. Unfortunately, we need to wait for the stage update because we can't move into the next stage after we kill the huge boss. That's why on the Play Store it's still on early access. I really hope it will have an option to select a different weapon and be able to pick a different genre. I will give 10 to 10 for his artwork to create it. Of course, there's a lot of things that need to be improved, but most of the important thing is the storyline should get attention, so the player is not focusing on the combat only. Let's get back into the gameplay. It has a hack and slash base. At the end, we'll face the huge boss monster that will have a certain movement that we can learn and anticipate easily. Anyway, not many players know about this game. Do any of you know it? Zombie Hardore. I don't know exactly how possible the developer turned this amazing graphic offline game into 160 MB only. I don't have any ideas how possible they made it. Look at how the graphics are and how realistic the zombies movement looks. This is one of the best new offline games that everyone should have on their smartphone. Besides, it has a small size, but also it's pretty compatible on any device's level, no matter if that's the lowest one. I'm pretty sure your phone can handle it perfectly and smoothly. It's kind of a dungeon stage base where we need to eliminate all of the enemies that we face. If you want to speed up the progress, then you can do it freely without consuming any single penny. But of course, we should watch extra ads to multiply your bonus. In the game, we need to remember about the zombie strength. For example, the zombie with a high durability, fast movement, high attack, or a zombie who can spit the poison from a distance. Bonus: Bramblebound Sci-Fi RPG Quest. Finally, we have a new game RPG that has a new innovation which has with the sci-fi concept. with a nice character design with a robotic form, and how metallic is the main base of every object, making the player can understand the main concept. It's kind of an adventure hack and slash base with a hammer as the main weapon, slash the enemy in a close range and use your jetpack tools to move into a safer area. To open up the new door, we should always find a hidden key. Most of the key will need to solve the puzzle with a normal difficulty. I am sure you can solve it easily. These all are the best new game offline to play in a small size, but I am sure the game's graphics are really good. Remember to like this video and see you on the next list. Thanks!